Alright, so moving on to the next question, question number 60, right? Statement 1. Masala bonds are a type of external commercial borrowing issued abroad but denominated in Indian rupees. They protect Indian borrowers against foreign exchange risk. Statement 3. The currency risk in masala bonds lies with the investor, right? So this question is about masala bonds. So I'll just explain briefly how masala bonds actually work. So basically, when you study bonds, there are usually the foreign currency denominated bonds, right? Foreign currency denominated bonds. Okay, so these are bonds that are issued outside India, right? So these are actually bonds that are issued for the foreign investor, right? So who actually buys these kind of bonds? Foreign investors, right? So these are external commercial borrowings issued outside India for the foreign investors. Okay, so foreign investors, when bonds are actually issued outside of India for the benefit of foreign investors, they can primarily be foreign currency denominated bonds, as well as Indian rupee denominated bonds. Indian rupee denominated bonds, which are actually what we call as the masala bonds. Right. So once again, to raise funds from outside of India, corporates, including sovereign states also, state of India or any other country, or even if you take like for example corporates, they can issue bonds, right? They will be part of the external commercial borrowings, part of the capital account of a particular country, and they can be divided into foreign currency denominated bonds as well as rupee denominated bonds, right? So denominated bond, essentially it means the amount of borrowing will happen in a particular currency, right? And that currency is what we call as the denomination of the currency. It will be in that currency the interest payments will be done. Okay, it will be in that currency if that borrower wants to close that, redeem that bond. Okay, he has to give a bulk amount. It should be in that particular currency, right? I'll just explain again with an example. Like for example, foreign currency denominated bond. Take the case of an Indian company going to the international market, okay, and it is issuing a bond, okay, and it is a US dollar denominated bond, okay, and say the bond has a face value of $1,000 US, okay, and it pays 6% annually, right? 6% annually. 1,000 is the $1,000 US is the price of that bond, right? So this 6% annually, that interest payment that the borrower have to give to the creditor, which is the investor who actually bought the bond, that is 6%, right? So 6% will come to $60. Right. So here the repayment took place in the US dollars, right? And the initial $1,000 in which that Indian entity actually borrowed from that foreign investor or the foreign creditor was in US dollars. Right. Now imagine if the borrower wants to redeem that bond, okay, wants to close that bond, he have to pay $1,060 US, right? $1,060 US at the end of 1 year to get that to close that bond. Okay, that is also paid in US dollars. That is also paid in US dollars, right? That is why we call them foreign currency denominated bond. Okay, that is the concept of denomination, right? And it is according to the currency in which it is denominated, the what you can say, the risk is calculated. Whether it is the borrower who has the risk or the investor or the creditor who bears the risk depends upon the currency in which that particular bond instrument is denominated. I will explain that also. But these are the most common type of foreign currency denominated bonds. Foreign currency denominated bonds. Here it is dollar denominated, right? So that is usually how the denomination actually works. But now let's take the case of a rupee denominated bond. Right. Okay, in a rupee denominated bond, what happens? Okay, what happens? Indian entity goes to the international market. It will issue a bond, say 1000 rupees. Okay, 1000 rupees, that is the face value of the bond. Okay, interest rate of 6%, which comes out to 60 rupees. Right, 60 rupees. Okay, so at the end of 1 year, to close that loan, to close that or redeem that bond, 1060 rupees have to be paid by the Indian borrower, right? Indian borrower from the foreign, he has to give that amount to the foreign investor, right? But so this is the foreign investor. The foreign investor do not have rupees. The foreign investor will have dollars. Now, if he wants to buy this bond, he has to exchange. He has to convert the equivalent of this 1000 rupees in dollars. He has to convert it to. He has to convert his dollars into 1000 rupees. Okay, 1000 rupees. Say the exchange rate, the nominal exchange rate is 100 rupees for $1. Okay, so he has to give almost $10. So he will take $10. He will give it to the Forex market, get the rupee and use that rupee to buy the bond from the Indian investor. Okay, this is a masala bond. Okay, I am explaining masala bond. Right. Now he has that amount. Now what happens? Now the borrower, however, will get what is the amount he got? He will get 1000 rupees. Now say after 1 year he will pay 1060 only. But say the rupee had depreciated. Rupee depreciated to 150 rupees US dollar. Okay, US dollar. But the Indian borrower will still pay only 1060. Okay, 1060 rupees. But now the rupee has depreciated. This will be worth less. This will be worth less in terms of US dollar. Right. So after 1 year, the Indian borrower will go to the market, will give 1060 rupees to the foreign investor. The foreign investor will convert the 1060 into US dollar. Do you think it will be worth 10 US dollars? No, it will be less than 10 US dollars. So who actually suffered here when the rupee actually depreciated? Right, it is the foreign investor who actually suffered. So this is usually what happens. Okay, or there is a huge risk for the foreign investor. Okay, in a rupee denominated bond, who bears the more risk? The foreign investor bears more risk. Right, here the borrower is protected against foreign exchange risk. Okay, I hope that concept is clear. The borrower is protected against foreign exchange risk because he has to pay always this fixed amount in the domestic currency. Okay, this amount only he has to pay. Even if it is appreciating, although the foreign investor may gain, the Indian borrower is always protected. Okay, the Indian entity is always protected in the case of a masala bond. Okay. Okay, but for a foreign currency denominated bond, this thing will happen in reverse. Because if you look at carefully, like take the previous example, it was they have to pay say 1060 US dollar, right? 1060 US dollar, and the rupee depreciates. Then that Indian entity have to pay $1060. So he have to spend more rupees. Right, so who bears the foreign exchange risk in a foreign currency denominated bond? It will be the Indian borrower. It will be the domestic borrower. So that person who bears the risk, or who there is a risk of loss to which person when the currency depreciates, when that actually changes. Right, so I hope that concept is clear. Right, it's for foreign currency bond. For foreign currency, $1060 have to be paid by the Indian borrower, okay, by the Indian borrower. And if this depreciation happens, he has to give more currency, right? He has to spend more to get an equivalent of 1060 US dollars. But the foreign investor is protected because he will get 1060 US dollars anyways, right? So foreign borrower is protected in the case of a foreign currency denominated bond. Okay, please understand that concept. So coming back to the question, Masala bonds are a type of external commercial borrowing issued abroad but denominated in Indian rupees. It's correct. They protect Indian borrowers against foreign exchange risk. Again correct. Right, Indian borrowers are protected. The currency risk in Masala bonds lies with the investor. Okay, lies with the investor. This is also correct. Okay, so both these are correct. Okay, and they actually explain this, right? Denominated in Indian rupees. It's a consequence of this statement, denominated in Indian rupees, that the protection actually comes, right? It is because it is denominated in Indian rupees, the Indian borrower is protected and more risk is with the investor. Investor is the foreign borrower, foreign creditor, right? Foreign creditor. Right. So I hope that idea is clear to you. Okay.